Never, never, never die. 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 Never die.
Fuck you.
I never know, man.
There we go. We're good.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about hot tubs.
Hot tub talk.
But dude, that's what it is. Hot tub talk. That's my podcast. Check it out. Everything and everything and anything hot tubs. No, but it's so funny, man, because I'm literally losing my sanity a little bit more each day, you know, and I'm coming up with new shit, you know, just because I'm funny. And I think, like I told my wife, you know, because we went to had some friends in town, and they were really nice enough. It was my really good childhood friend, and he was here on business in Vegas. They were doing a convention, and his boss is a guy who I knew from like way back, but he's like, "You look familiar, one of those guys. I think I met you, maybe, whatever." And but they were nice enough to treat my wife and I to Nobu, to dinner at Nobu, at Caesar's Palace. Now I've never been there, and dude, it was like, for the five of us, it was like $1,500 for us to eat there. Yeah. So, and I'm sitting there going,
I'm not
like,
way out of my budget.
I got
there.
the water. Yeah. How my bank, see how my bank account set up is, you know, but it was crazy, dude, because we go to sit down, and now the guy who made our reservation is the VP of the president of VIP services for Caesar's Palace. So I mean, when you see like a guy like that make your rezo, you know, the reservation, you assume that the people that are in that party are of some importance, whether gamblers or famous, whatever. And so, you know, we you know, we got their mask on, you know, to get into the restaurant, and then they sent us in a private room, man. Like it's just like, you know, like when you have a restaurant, you have like the party room, and it's like a little private room. And then they said to us, so I go to, they're like, make sure you guys keep your mask on until your food comes. And I go, okay, here's one of those things where I'm like the virus is coming at me, and it's like, let's fucking get him. Like, oh wait, he's got edamame, you know. And I said, it's the I said this the other day, and I haven't heard anyone else say this about, this is my thing. You can coin it and make money off it. Just send me a royalty check. I said, dude, this is the equivalent of like, I'm gonna go have sex with a strange girl, like a random, you know, and she's like, wait, do you got a condom? I'm like, I do, but I'm going to kiss you. And she's like, oh yeah, we don't need it then. Like, cause as long as you're using your mouth, apparently COVID can't get you. So like, I'm like, yeah, you can fuck me in the ass. As long as we kiss, you ain't going to get a disease.
No,
like
exactly. You ain't getting shit.
Yeah. You ain't getting shit. Oh, dude, COVID's like, oh, this mouth's working. But again, I'm just, I don't understand. I just on a daily basis, I make I just laugh at the and cry for the state of humanity. It just makes me sad. It just makes me so sad.
Well, like I said, it's just crazy because, like I said, and it's one of the sole purposes why we don't go out or do anything, because the simple fact is a lot of this shit don't make sense. So why even fucking put ourselves in a situation? You know, me and my wife had the first time we actually eaten out together. We went to a Pieology. We got a couple of pizzas. Really, I got a couple of pizzas. She ate half a pizza, and then I ate her other half of the pizza. So I ate a total of 2.5 pizzas.
As you should.
As you should. But, you know, we're sitting there enjoying our meal. People are walking by us, and yet we have no mask on, but everyone standing around us has masks on because they're not eating indoors. Yeah. We are. And we're like, and I'm like, it's uncomfortable. Because it's like, this is not normal, and this is not what we're used to. So it was a little bit of a bust. It was nice to get out. It was nice to sit down and enjoy a meal.
I feel the same way.
Freshly prepared, but at the same time, it's like, is that awkwardness fucking even?
Well, and it's funny, man. You know, I like I told you, I was meant to compete at my arm wrestling competition on Saturday. Yeah. Shout out to my team, though. My team did well. My wife actually won first place, right-handed, went undefeated. She ended up winning $230 or something like that in the tournament. And I was just really bummed that I couldn't compete. But you know, it was in Utah, and it was at like this kind of like a fair, like a festival. You know, like a fair camp, fairground, whatever kind of thing. And you had like BMX people and hot dog stand, whatever.
Yeah, the county fair like grounds.
Yeah, exactly. And the arm wrestling was it was out there, but it was just so amazing, dude. Like I literally got, like, no joke, man, I got emotional, like seeing like just hundreds of people, families playing outside, kids playing with each other, no one's wearing masks and all that stuff like that. Because I'm like, man, if you idiots that are wearing masks still would put as much effort in working out, your diet, your health, everything else, you probably wouldn't be so damn paranoid about getting sick, you know? And again, at the end of the day, you know, I said this to a couple people, you know, I was talking to people and they were saying this, you know, on the same page as me. And I said, but still at the end of the day, even if people aren't on the same page as me, I'd say this to those people. If you knew 100%, not like hypothetical, whatever, 100%, this is your last week to live. How are you going to spend that week? Are you going to spend it in bed with a mask on? Or are you going to go fucking skydive or, you know what I mean? Go get lap dance. I don't know, whatever it is, your freaking thing, go eat 9 pizzas. You're going to go out and you're going to live your life. And the fact that people aren't doing that is just insanity to me. That's it. I don't know. We don't have to talk about that shit, but I mean, that's just, it's crazy.
It is what it is. But, you know, like I said, that's COVID for you. But back to hot tub talk. I just recently got my hot tub up and going. It cost me more to get the hot tub to my house than it did to pay for the hot tub. It actually cost me more to wire the power to it than it did for the price of the hot tub. And regardless of how much money I spent on it, which was quite a bit, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. You know what I'm saying?
I could have.
Dude. My God. Let me tell you right now. The first night I got in, I felt like a brand new man because after I came out, I was relaxed. The tension was gone. And, you know, and hot tubs, you know, before I was like, man, hot tubs are stupid. Let's just go to the pool, have a good time. But then when you get to be an older man and you know, that rest and recovery, let me tell you right now, so like I said, we've been in it a few times already. And both times I come out feeling like $1 million where I'm just like, no back tension. My legs aren't fucking like, you know, tight and stiff. You know, with my shoulder injury, I usually slink my arm in there, and so that little bit of recovery come from that shoulder surgery, man, I'll tell you right now, was well worth it.
Dude, you know, the only thing better to me than the hot tub is when you have the, you know, I've stayed at a couple, like, especially living in Singapore, you know, I was blessed to go to, you know, really nice resorts like W and resorts and stuff like that, you know, and I remember my wife and I stayed at the W in Bali, and they had the, you know, the whole, like, they had everything at their spa, you know, it was complimentary of staying, you know, they had like oxygen treatment and stuff like, and all that stuff like that. But one of the things they had was the hot tub, like super hot tub, and then right next to it, the ice cold plunge. And dude, going back and forth in that, man, because I remember, like, I was hungover as fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, you know, we like started, you know, the day drinking before we at the airport, day drinking at the plane, you know what I mean? Drank all day at the beach, and then, like, you know, wake up the next morning feeling like absolute death. But dude, go down there, you know, you get the oxygen, the hot tub, the sauna, the steam room, and the cold pool, and dude, just like that, you know, kind of doing a circuit of all of them, dude. You feel like I was like, dude, I feel better normally, dude. Than, you know, I'm not even saying I feel better than being hungover. I felt better than like I normally do on a daily basis, you know?
Yeah, the endorphins hit when those shock enzymes in your body open up. It really just like rejuvenates the body. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I've been wanting to do is some of that cryotherapy. I always see people talking all this about it, but the thing is, you know, it proofs in the pudding. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. So when I do it, you know, it's going to be one of those things where I'm like, all right, is it worth it or is it not worth it? Because one of the things I do know it's worth it is saunas, infrared saunas. When you get into them, it really opens up the pores, it gets deep into the muscle, because there's steam saunas, infrared saunas. Infrared saunas are one of the ones that get into the deep tissue and really open up the muscles, really open up the pores, and really gets deep down in there to help you excrete all the toxins and stuff like that. But most of all, though, it's to, you know, hit those muscles that anything else wouldn't hit. And just that recovery process. We just got the hot tub, and I'm already trying to tell them, we need to get an infrared sauna. You know what I'm saying? I'm always shopping, trying to see if I find a used one for cheap. But, you know, it's another day, another time.
See, I have done the cryotherapy. And I'll say this is what my take on it is. I think it's worth it if it wasn't so expensive. I think it's too expensive for what it is. You know what I mean? And that's just basically it. I mean, to be honest, like, I think, I think it's like how do I say it? It's like it's like a pussy. I can't think of it. Like, excuse me, but it's like a fucking sissy's version of literally just jumping in a fucking ice cold pool. You know what I mean? So like for me, like what I do, like after really hard training and recovery and stuff like that, what I do, because we have our dual sinks in our kitchen, and I put boiling water in one, and I put, like, you know, ice water, and like just basically water with ice, and it melts. And I go back and forth and put my, like, from like my hand up to like my, you know, bicep. Like I'm like bruised and stuff right now from like, cause I'm a big believer in, I don't know if you ever tried, like peptides. And so I'm a big believer in those. But yeah, but like I do like I don't think for people who train, I think there's so much stuff out there. There's so much, not bunk information, but like conflicting information. Some people
Yes.
like ice is amazing, heat's amazing,
Amazing.
but stay away from ice. What I find is this: I find at the end of the day, I think ice is good when you have any type of injury, but
Yep.
I do not think ice should be used on a daily basis for recovery. Just the same way I think you shouldn't use ibuprofen or Advil,
Exactly.
to take away inflammation, because that inflammation is good if your body doesn't understand. Oh shit, I'm inflamed. Do the thing to unflame
Exactly.
myself. You're never gonna heal properly, and then you're
Never.
gonna be just like anything.
Yeah.
If you need NyQuil or ZQuil every night to go to bed, good luck after you get off that
Yep.
trying to sleep, without it. So,
No,
yeah.
no, which is true, because like I said, if you do too much of something, your body does adjust to it. Your body adapts to everything. That's the one thing about our human nature is we are adjusted to grow, to adapt to our situations.
Yeah.
And if you constantly using something or doing something, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big user of heat. I like to do heat before I start my day, just like you're supposed to warm up before you exercise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of studies to show not to warm up, but the thing is as you get older, that's a young man's game. But when you get older, you got to get that blood in the muscle. You got to get your body primed and prepped to either lift or train. And then after that, just like you said, ice is for specifically recovering. You know what I'm saying? You put that
But I
ice
think
in
from an
there.
injury, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
It shocks the body, and it actually gets the proteins in your body to start synthesizing new muscle, new growth, or it triggers that healing factor in your body to, like, hey, oh shit, something's going on. Let's rush all the blood to that one spot that's being iced.
yeah, and you keep saying, like, you're warming up because you're, it's a sauna warm up. You keep saying old man. I don't think it's old man. I think it's just you get older, you get smarter, because when you're younger, you don't value warming up the way you do when you're older, because you think you're indestructible. But I think if a younger person trained the way with an older person's mentality, well, and there are people that do that.
Yeah.
Those people are elite athletes
And longevity in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're elite athletes. They have like you said, that longevity. And it's because, I don't think we get older and we just go, oh, well, I got to warm up. No, you just know the benefit. You just understand the benefits of whatever that thing is. You don't argue with your wife, not because you're just tired of it. You're just like, I kind of know now it's better to think this way, or, or let her say this or let her say that, Yeah.
Yeah, which is true. I remember, man, this had to be like 2014. I started getting like inner shoulder pain, and I didn't know what it was. And like I said, all it was warming up the joints and doing simple movements to get the blood in there. And then once I did that, it completely went away. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things, because one of the things that they don't tell you is you have to train the ligaments, you have to train the sockets, you have to train the joints. And so if you don't put the blood in there for those warm-ups, and that when you try to put a load on it, it could definitely destroy your joints.
Well, exactly. It's just, again, it's the difference between working out like an athlete and working out like, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you live your life like an athlete would, before you're the athlete, you actually train, but most people like have to get almost elite before they get smart enough. You know what I mean? But the information's out there. It's just most people are too fucking lazy to do it.
Yeah.
So
that's the truth. That is the truth.
I'm guilty of it too, man. You know what I mean? When I was younger, I never warmed up. I just was like, whatever. Now it's just like, yeah. And now it's just like, I still feel good, but I'm just smarter, and for me, like, my big thing right now, dude, I love in the gym, I don't know if you ever used one, is the earthquake bars, the bamboo earthquake bars.
Not
dude,
I never had any access to them, but
dude,
I
never have either. I never had either, and I didn't understand how amazing they are. I mean, they're cheap, you know what I mean? And it's literally like a barbell made of bamboo, and it's super lightweight. It maybe weighs like a pound. It's like but man, you put I put some kettlebells on there with the bands, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you that my right shoulder, I couldn't bench press or anything for a year, from all the arm wrestling stuff, because arm wrestling is so internally rotated, and now, and I never really had to bench press, but I just like wanted to. And dude, after using I'm talking from like pain with just the bar, just a bench bar, to I was doing like reps with 225, which is not heavy, but from literally, it was like you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I felt like a new person.
Well, that's the thing. It's just they're designed to hit the stabilizers in your muscles, because that's
Yeah.
one of the things that a lot of people always have conflict with is standard bar or dumbbell. Well, dumbbells are designed to hit isolation muscles too. So when you do it, it causes more control. That bamboo stick puts so much of a wiggle and a tightness of control that once you learn how to tense up to use it, that's the purpose. You learn to engage everything at one time to keep it stable, because as soon as you let one piece of that, you let the delt, you let your rear delt, you let your arm, your tricep loose, it's gonna let you know, and it's gonna drop that one side and make that side more shake. So
dude, it's crazy, man. You see guys, I see guys, my friends, they come to the gym and they never tried it. They go, oh, I want to try that. And dude, I mean, these guys are good bench pressers in good shape, no injuries. And dude, they're on it. I mean, that thing is like, and they're like, oh my God, and it's like, you have no idea how hard that thing is, but you do it a few times. By like the third time you do it, it's like you like adapt really fast to it.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's awesome. I think, again, if you're out there, I don't work for fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Band Bell or Earthquake Bar, whoever makes that shit, man.
Oh yeah. No, I'm always up to date with new fancy, I'm always like on the point of like what's coming out, what's new, what's going to help me train better, what's going to help me be better. And so I'm always constantly doing that. That's one of the reasons why I had bought a Buffalo bar. Because I have, the shoulder injury. And so it doesn't allow me to get my arm as back as I want.
Oh, that's the one like
it's the curved
right?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it actually lets me position my hands on the bar without overextending it, because I'm tall and I got long arms. So as soon as I put the bar on, I can't bend my shoulder in the direction to grab the top of the bar here, but here I can.
Right. Do you have problems squatting?
I do. I don't have problems squatting, but because of the shoulder injury,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This thing, right?
That's one of my main issues is like, because with the surgery, they went and cleaned it up, the rotator. I got a lot more movement back and a lot more, up and down. But the thing is I can't bend my arm as far back as I'd like to.
So you end up like being like out here when you're doing squats.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things too is I use a cool little old school trick. I just put a pair of lifting straps, strap it on, and then just hold it on tight like this a lot of times too.
Yeah. It's funny, man. Dude. So like I think I told you about, we were texting like, and I was just so bummed because I was so looking forward to this competition this Saturday that just passed. And, depending on when you do your episode, but yeah. And, like I said, I deadlifted for the first time in like 10 years. And, and I got up to like, around 370 ish for reps, and I felt fine. It was like, and then the next day I felt fine. The next day I felt fine. And then, like I said, my wife ordered that's what it is right there, my new arm wrestling table. And it came in a big box, and the box was like reinforced with plywood. So I don't know what it weighs, maybe about 120 pounds. I don't, but man, I picked it up in the, like, one arm here, one arm down, the opposite, you know what I mean? And I carried it up the steps, and dude, like I said, it's not really my back, it's more like my obliques. And I put it down and I was like, fuck, I think like I just strained my whole fucking ass side, everything. And like, and like I said, I was going to still compete. I was just going to be like, fuck it, I'm competing, man. I was a little nervous only because I know if like adrenaline kicks in, I'm not good. It's going to be a different level of output than, a normal training. But like I said, I went to do my weight cut, cause I got hurt on Friday and I knew I had a week, and, my body would not drop weight, man. I did my normal weight cut protocol thing where I, water load, sodium load, then sodium deplete, carb, I go completely out of carbs. Dude, I get ketogenic. Like I do have the little ketogenic steps, and I, just for the water cutting, and so don't like fucking flack me if you're like,
nah, me too right now, but man. Hey, I do the same thing, bro. I take ketones a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? That shit works. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit that ketogenic state and you can boost it, you just like you said, and that's one of the things like with bodybuilding, it has that correlation where you're trying to do a weight cut. Well, guess what? After you fucking bulk up and you start hitting that point, guess what? You switch to a ketogenic diet. And when you switch that ketogenic diet, you're going to drop the water, you're going to drop the weight, and you're going to be what you need to be.
And I get all the things, man. I mean, like I've used my body as a damn, science project.
That's all of us right there.
Like, yeah. And, so, I mean, I know what works, I know what doesn't, I know the benefits of keto. I know why it's good. I know when not to use it. And, but it was just so frustrating, man. Sunday, I was 189. Wednesday, after doing all the fucking cutting, I was 193. And so my body just would not, from the inflammation, I think it would just not drop that water.
It's going to hold on to all of that. When you got that that kind of an injury, your body's like, no, we need these nutrients. As soon as you start, because as soon as you dehydrate, it's only going to get worse.
And I know going into a tournament like that, I was going to be in from it was 0 to 180 was the weight class, 181 to 200.
Yeah.
Now I knew if I would have pulled in that, my just walk-in weight, which was I was about 193, it never left. I end up like going, fuck it, I'm eating French toast and bacon, and I actually dropped 2 pounds. It was weird. And then but I walked in at like 193 that morning, and I'm like, I know there's going to be guys, the 200-pound limit, but I know there's going to be guys at 220 cutting down.
They're going to put on 10 pounds, 30 pounds.
So I like, and I'm like, what? It just, like I said, it was fun to watch my wife, my teammate Brian, went undefeated. He's my main training partner. So I told him, I'm like, I take pride. Like I can feel a little bit of victory because my wife and him both went, undefeated. He ended up winning like $600. It was awesome. But I did a little bit of we call it after pulling, where you just get on the table and mess around with people, and and I was just like, people were like, what are you, guys, because wanted to show that I'm fucking strong. But I was just like, look, I couldn't go offensive. I could just like kind of just hold people like this, but because my arm wrestling is actually a lot of your obliques, your core, to move your body this way, and I just couldn't do that without real pain. I mean, I'm still in pain right now.
So. It takes a while, especially when you pull like that, especially like just like you said in the oblique area, that pain's probably sitting right under that lat, just fucking yanking on you.
Yeah, it goes all the way down to like what is that piriformis muscle or whatever that thing. It just feels deep in my hip. It goes around to my abs. Like when I'm sitting up, like I still feel fine if I'm this way, or I'm fine if I'm all the way forward. Like,
but not
sitting
in the middle.
Straight up, I feel like I can just feel unstable. So
no, that's one of those things. That's what, like, one of the reasons why, like I said, I buy one of those hybrid volts. I'm always on the fence about buying one of those psoas massage, the psoas ones where you just lay on it and get
it looks like
and all that. It looks like a little U. I'm always saying I'm gonna get it, but I'm just like, but I can do my my deep tissue massage just with the same, because I'm old school foam roller. Exactly, foam roller. I got heat, ice, I got all this stuff, but sometimes when I see it so awesome and my buddy uses it, I just see him wince so hard. I'm like, man, I really
it hurts like fuck. I've used them before. It hurts like piss, dude.
That's what I heard.
It hurts like piss. I mean, just like, what it feels like, when you foam roll your IT band, and it's just like, it's like you can take it, but you kind of can't, but you can't. It's like that,
because when you're rolling, you can kind of like brace yourself a little bit to where it doesn't hurt as bad, but you still got to put all that weight on it.
I mean, and to get the real benefit of it, you have to like really kind of do it.
You do.
You know what I love, have you ever seen those freeze sleeves?
I've seen those where the ones you just leave in the refrigerator or the freezer and then you slip them on.
Dude, I actually wanted to put one. I wanted to put one on right now before our thing, but dude, I fucking love. Dude, it's awesome. The pro is it's for the first 10 minutes, it's the best thing in the whole freaking world. The sad part is at 11 minutes, it's not really cold anymore. And I think it's like a catch-22. The thing that makes it so, because it's flexy and it's just awesome. I put on my elbow because, and again, it's like that, all this area here is the pain spot for me. And, but dude, it feels amazing. Like it's just a thing. It's so good. But the problem is they're expensive. I'm not going to lie. I think they're a bit expensive, and they just don't stay cold that long. Like ideally, if you had the money for it and you had like 3 of them, you know what I mean? You can do like 10 minutes, and do like a half an hour with like 3 of them. That would be ideal, but they're like $50 each. And I'm just like,
that's the thing too, is every time I'm always one of those people that wait for it to become so popular that everyone has one, and then as the fade drops, I jump right in.
Or at least, you get a competitor about making like the cold sleeve, like the cold ice sleeve or the ice arm or whatever you want to call it. That's what you need. Because again, if you just have Coke and no Pepsi, well, you can charge whatever the fuck you want to charge. And that's the problem.
That is the problem. That's one of those things. Like I bought in so many pieces of gym equipment that I wanted. But the thing is I was like, look, I have basic stuff, but if I wait a couple of years, like have you seen all those new ergonomical handles?
Oh yeah. I have.
Where they had the grips. They're no longer just a flat bar. It's just, I bought a whole set for $100 when almost like 6-7 months ago they were going for like $500 for like one. And then I bought the whole set for $100 because I found it a real good deal. And then as soon as I bought it and they sold out, The very next time they went up on for sale again, they were back to like $500 for one each. And I was like,
Yeah. Which is kind of the same thing with the arm wrestling world. Like my buddy Ray, he has this company called Country Crush, and this is literally it goes on like a spinning handle, and it's hard for me to do with one hand, but you can see it's a hand. And when you feel it, it's like bumpy in the palm. It's literally his handprint, and it's his hand mold, like 3D printed.
Cool.
And so hold on to it, and it feels like you're holding on to a person's hand.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, it's kind of the same thing arm wrestling world. It's getting better now because there's more companies making equipment.
Yeah.
But before, there was like two Russian guys that had the fucking market cornered, and they can there's like these 3D printed things. My buddy has a 3D printer.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, how much does that cost? He's like, dude, that costs probably like $3 to make. 50 cents. $3 in material, and they're selling it for 70. I mean, that's a big profit.
Oh no, it's a big profit. Like I said, with the availability of 3D printing right now, it's insane because I've always constantly see people like, hey, start your business, start doing this. Do you have things that you want to make that just you can't buy this 3D printer and you can make it and sell it, and like there's markets for that right now? And I'm like, God damn, it's fucking crazy.
It is. Like I said, I mean, I think it's just like anything, especially now with the whole COVID thing, home gyms are becoming so popular, and it's so stupid. You see like people are selling dumbbells for like $200 for like 230-pound dumbbells.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, because they can.
Yeah, because in sense, it like that's what I love the foresight that I had, because when this started popping up, I was like, okay, this might happen. So I slowly started gathering stuff together, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? I had you got that full set, and I'm like, all right, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I got lucky. I ended up buying a Pro X elliptical machine, like straight from the gym, for $100.
Wow, that's great.
Oh man. And I told him, I'll come pick it up right now. Don't sell it. And he's like, you're the first person to offer me the money that I wanted for it. Everyone else was trying to charge, like, I'll
lowball.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I understand the price. I understand what you got. I'll come pick it up. So like, I literally bought a badass elliptical machine, and it's just like, it's one of those things like, you got a treadmill, got elliptical, got a bike, I'm good.
That's what I did like a year ago or March. I remember when they were talking about, I was like, dude, I'm like, and when I heard like shit, whatever, I'm like, dude, I went out, and that's what I bought. I bought a like a pulley system that sits on top of my arm wrestling table. And because I have 2 tables now, like I said, this is our new one. And I have my table on our balcony, which has like a built-in pulley system. So it mimics, and but again, there were so many of my friends, because of social distancing and all the rules, they couldn't train. And I kept, so when I came out, quarantine came out, I was like, dude, what have you been doing? I'm like, I'm still training, man. It's not ideal, but it's like 1,000 times better than nothing.
Exactly.
So that's what a thing is. So
that's one of the reasons why, like, because I knew eventually I was going to get my shoulder surgery, because when the pandemic started, it was like my shoulder surgery was in the works. But the thing is, I was waiting for the doctor, waiting for everyone else to get approval. And so I didn't know when it was coming, but it ended up coming in November of last year. But I had pre-bought everything, and I was still working out, still training, still doing what I could. But I bought the majority of all this, so when my shoulder is better, then I can go full throttle again and just start.
So you're not. So you're still not working out like high capacity.
Not even right now. Like I have a limited of 2 pounds on an external rotation, because I can't even, like, as soon as I put any kind of weight in my hand, it just puts so much strain on this part of my delt, which those aren't looking. It's just my front delt.
Yeah, and I can feel your bicep tendon there.
Too. Yeah, though that's what happened is. The workman's comp didn't approve my physical therapy fast enough, so they made me wait a month after my surgery. So from me being in my sling, everything became too tight, and so now that it's too tight, I can't have the rotation that I'm having, so I don't have the strength. So I literally should be back to work, but I'm still off of work because it's just a slow process. You know what I'm saying? Like I've literally missed 3 weeks of physical therapy because I was waiting on approval, which they called me today, like, hey, your approval finally came through. So I'm like, so I was waiting on approval to get fixed, but yet I'm not getting fixed because I still had to wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big deal, man. I mean, because like, I can't remember if we talked about it or what. I can't remember, like, because I do these podcastings and stuff too. We talk about, arm wrestling and stuff, but like how I got into it because, I had a, I think I showed you I had a surgery on my hand. And that's the biggest thing. In physical therapy, the doctors told me my fist would always be like this. Like I would never be able to make a fist.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck that, man. I remember doing it myself, because like I felt like, and again, I was 17, I could have been, who knows what I was doing right or wrong, but I just was like, there's no way this is, because they were like babying me in physical therapy, and it wasn't like, I was like, look, I would rather go through hell and get my hand back a full strength, for the rest of my life than not have that, as an option. Like, it's
the truth. Cause I was the exact opposite. I was like, they were giving me these exercises. I'm like, this is pussy shit. So I can fucking make myself better. And for like the first while, I was going a little too hard. And then I'm like, why am I having so much more pain than I thought I should have? And they're like, it's because you're just pushing too hard. You want to recover something that actually requires months of recovery, and you're trying to sit there and bang weight. You can't do any of that.
Yeah, that's my biggest fucking weekness, dude. My biggest weakness is resting, dude. I hate resting. Like, so, because typically, like when you compete as an arm wrestler, it's ask a different guy who you get any day from like 5 days to 21 days of rest, like do nothing, like, because you want your muscles are covering, 72 hours, your tendons and ligaments, take a minute, sometimes 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, so, but man, I took 10 days off, and dude, it felt like fucking torture. And then on top of that, like I said, to hurt my back in the last week, and then I was just so bummed out, dude. I worked out, like, that's why I was at the gym right before we got on, and I was just like, because dude, my arm hurts, I'm not gonna lie, like my right arm, I don't know what I did to it. I heard it, like, it felt like I strained it in a match, or a really heavy practice, about a month ago now, maybe 5 weeks ago. And it just hasn't come back. And after I took the 10 days off, I thought I'd be able to go, and it started hurting again. And I was just like, you know what? A good friend of mine, not a good friend, but a mentor of mine, a guy named Todd Hutchins, is a world-class arm wrestler. And he says that pain doesn't equal weakness. Weakness equals weakness. So he says, if you have pain, but the weight's moving, he keeps doing it, man. And he keeps going. And I was just like, I was like, dude, I that was my Facebook status today. I'm like, weakness doesn't equal weakness. Pain doesn't equal weakness. Weakness equals weakness. And he commented back, he's like, you're learning, young man. And I was just like, well, because I was like, it was fucking hurting, but the weight was going up. And I'm like, I'm gonna either do it till I fucking break or I get stronger. So
that's
we'll see
it.
what happens,
One of the two.
Because I don't want to live my life in that gray area. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be.
You're just floating there, not figuring nothing out.
Yeah, I want to go for it, man. I want to we have our Nevada States coming up, and in May 15th, and it's a huge tournament. We have people coming from all over the country, even some world-class arm wrestlers from Europe and shit will be there for that. And I'm scared because it's a thing. You can go in there and literally be like, it's a weird thing. You want to have the mentality that, of course, I'm going to go to win, but I'm also kind of not real. You know what I mean? It'd be like me playing LeBron James in basketball. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, I guess I'll try to do my best, but the idea of winning isn't really a thing. I just want to see where I'm at. You know what I mean? And that's what this tournament is coming up for me. I don't really have intent of winning. I just want to see if I can give some guys.
I'm going there for balls.
Make them sweat a little bit.
Exactly. Someone else is going to be hurting that day.
And that's all I'm looking for, and it's a real gray area in our sport, because we have novice is meaning you've never competed ever before again, so you can literally have one tournament as a novice. It's for literally you've never done it, but you want to compete together. Then you have amateur, which is like, a lot of times Scott guys stay at amateur for a long time, between the first year to the 8 years, and sometimes 5 years. Think about it, just like fighting, and then you have the pro class. But the problem is the discrepancy between the pro and amateur level is so fucking massive that it's really discouraging. Like, I was telling my wife, we were talking about it last night, because I was like, it'd be like this. Like, I can show up to a tournament, like for instance, this tournament at Utah. There's a guy named Craig Toulier who showed up at, he's from Utah, and he showed up. Now, dude, this is a world-class arm wrestler. I saw something. You ever see something where you're like, that didn't make sense to me? I have a teammate named Mason. And he's about 205 pounds, 21 years old, super fucking fast, super strong young guy, been arm wrestling since he's 15. And I know how freaking fast and how hard he hits.
Yeah.
And he hit this guy, Craig Tullia, and Craig Tullia has been in the sport for a long time. He's 48 years old. And that's the awesome thing about arm wrestling. Like, you can be in your 60s, 70s and still be damn good. And dude, Craig's 48, and dude, Mason hit him as hard as he could. And this is what he did. That's what his arm did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like, that's how strong people can be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it, but I'm still, it's insane to me. And now the problem is that guy, how do you compete with a guy like that? Again, it would be like, imagine you go into a local wrestling tournament or local, mixed martial arts tournament, and, Habib Nurmagomedov's there.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, well, of course he's going to win. You know what I mean? It's some weirdness in our sport, or like a local 2v2 basketball tournament for charity.
Yeah.
And you're like, the winner wins $1,000 and you got like Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
You're like, that's kind of not fair, but it's a thing with our sport that no one's kind of figured that out yet.
Yeah. Pros just show up and that's what it is.
And it's not even pro. It's just like the elite of the elite. And I'm like, well, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, do you even want to go and compete? Like, if you're, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to a meet, your age, your weight and all that stuff, and you're going to, dude, I'm really training hard for this, powerlifting tournament. You're in your best shape ever. I'm paying my X amount of money to enter the tournament. I really hope I do well. But then you find out that Larry Wheels is in your weight class.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with that?
Exactly.
So
now that you mentioned Larry Wheels, what do you think about his say in that he's joining the arm wrestling world now?
What about it? What are you saying?
Well, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel like he's going to be doing far? Because like I said, he announced he's stepping in the arm wrestling business. He's stepping into the federation and he wants to dominate.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I would say up until last week, and I follow all Larry's stuff. My buddy Derek, so I don't know if you ever watched his stuff with arm wrestling. Derek Smith is a guy from California. He runs a team in California, in Southern California, in San Bernardino, actually. Yeah. And Derek's a good friend of mine. And Derek was actually the first one to get Larry into arm wrestling. Okay. And Derek actually was on Larry's videos. And
okay, then that's Dubai, who I saw.
Real big guy. He's like 6'8", really well-spoken, really sweet guy. There's a lot about arm wrestling. And Derek went out there to train with Larry. Up until a week ago, I did not consider Larry an arm wrestler. I considered Larry a guy who's strong and who's trying to arm wrestle. Yeah. Larry looks like an arm wrestler now. And I mean, that's the thing, I can say for facts like that, I know firsthand. My buddy Brandon Allen is a, famous guy in the powerlifting world. If you're into powerlifting, he has several world records. He's a record holder powerlifter. And when he and I first got on the arm wrestling table, I could beat him pretty easily, and then he got stronger. Now Brandon feels like a damn truck. Now it's not, he literally, it's two things, just like anything. It's coordination. He learned coordination. He learned where to put his arm. And then his biggest thing was he had all the muscles everywhere else. He just had to strengthen his hand and wrist. Yeah. Because when Brandon and I would arm wrestle, it would be me taking his hand and wrist. Now his hand and wrist are strong. And now that's still where Larry's susceptible at. Yeah. If you watch his videos, he's susceptible in his hand and wrist. Which is why bodybuilders, powerlifters, and those kind of guys don't really do well in our sport when they first come into it. The guys that do amazing in our sport first walking into it with no prior training are mechanics, carpenters, welders, roofers. Why? Because they're using their hands and wrists all day long. So they got all those they're not only coordinated, but they got tons of little musculature and all those little tiny muscles. Yeah. Larry has been working with the best of the best guys. You had Michael Todd go out there. He had this guy named Coach Ray, he goes by, from Latvia. He's out there, and he's all these guys. So now he's got the best of the best. And again, when you got all the money in the world and you got, you're making, dude, those guys he makes like $100,000 a fucking month on his YouTube alone. Yeah. I mean, which is insane. Like they're making or maybe more. He may be maybe even more than that. You know, he may be close to now $500,000 a month. But which is crazy is because all of his top videos now, his most watched videos are all about arm wrestling. Yeah. And it's really interesting. But it's great for the sport. It's great for exposure. He's having a super match May, I think 21st or 29th, something like that, where it's like a small pay-per-view. And he's the undercard of the main event between Devin Larratt and Michael Todd. And Larry's going against that kid, schoolboy, Alex, something Russian, unpronounceableovich, is his last name. And but I mean, they call him schoolboy, but dude, the motherfucker's like he's also 6'6", 230 pounds as well. So he's definitely a big dude. But it's going to be interesting to watch because Larry's Larry definitely is a stronger guy. Yeah. Larry's the stronger guy in every kind of strength, but does he have the arm wrestling strength that Schoolboy has? I don't know. We're going to find out in next month. So, but it's interesting. I mean, I love it. I love it for the fact that, I want to see more guys. I want to see like Eddie Hall, I want to see, I'd love to see like someone like The Rock get involved. You know what I mean? Who's got like, you know what I mean? As popular as Larry is, imagine The Rock having an arm wrestling match. Dude, the sport would, it goes crazy. It's just like, dude, I mean, UFC was a big thing when Brock Lesnar went into UFC. It opened the audience. It just opened up that.
It does draw the eyes.
Yeah.
Another question, since you married mentioned Eddie Hall, not married Eddie Hall.
I marry Eddie Hall. He seems like a nice guy.
Oh yeah. What do you think about their fight coming up with him in the Mountain?
Again, I don't actually know too much about it. I think, I mean, what it's a fight like a.
Eddie retired after becoming champion. The Mountain retired because he felt like he's not going to get any respect in the World Strongman competitions anymore. So he retired after he set his world record deadlifting after breaking Eddie Hall's record.
Right. Watching that.
And then,
I watched that one.
And though I don't know if you know the history about it, but they've always had beefs in Strongman. They've always had.
Yeah, I knew about that stuff.
Yeah. They always had that. But the thing is Eddie Hall ended up calling out the Mountain in a boxing match.
Oh, so it's boxing. Okay.
So both of them right now are sizing down and training hard. Eddie Hall's looking very vascular, very well shaped. Eddie Hall is, you know what I'm saying? He's always, after he started getting a six pack, he kind of maintained that. But the Mountain dropped like almost 80 pounds. He posted a progress picture today, and that progress picture was fucking insane. I'm talking about he looks like an MMA fighter at the moment.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like imagine just one of those like MMA movies. He'd be the villain, right?
The bad guy, the ultimate guy.
Yeah, the ultimate. Like, no one can beat him, and that's how the Mountain looks right now. And then I was really favoring Eddie Hall, because I like his style. I like his practicing. I'm seeing him do his updates. But the Mountain's been a little bit more quiet about it. He's not been saying much. He's been doing, but he has had a couple of amateur fights now. I'm actually fighting in rings before I hit this, because he wants to really beat the shit out of fucking Eddie Hall, because that's how much hatred they have for each other. And the thing is like the size of these guys are just this is like a new level of super heavyweight, you know what I'm saying?
They're like almost like, titans almost.
They're all sitting, easily going to be over 350 pounds each, you know?
It's insane. I mean, my thing is, at the end of the day though, I mean, like, I'm like, stay in your lane, dude. I don't want to see Michael Phelps box. I don't want to see LeBron James in a swimming pool. They had 2 weeks ago, they had that Jake Paul Ben Askren match.
I was gonna watch it, but I ended up watching UFC.
Oh my god, dude. So I watched both. I streamed the one illegally, and I always have ESPN Plus. So but dude, it was
30 seconds.
Well, I was like, what the fuck was I watching the entire event? I mean, it was really, it was like all concerts with like boxing intermissions, and and everyone was talking about like, I can't, Jake Paul's fighting an MMA fight. Dude, no, he's not fighting MMA. He's fighting he's
MMA fighter.
They're boxing, and he's boxing a guy that has probably, I mean, I know
Ben Askren's a wrestler. Period. He's never been known for striking. He's got a chin.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy take multiple elbows to the temple and just eat them. But win.
Again, here's the thing, when people talk about, did he take a dive and all that stuff? Well, here's the thing. Okay, if you think that, you're retarded. And I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. Ben, I know Ben from Singapore. Ben and I lived in Singapore. We went to the same gym. Okay. Ben is retardedly strong. Okay. Everything about Ben Askren is strong. He's a very uncoordinated guy, but he's almost like zero fast twitch muscles, all slow twitch, but he's like, oh, this food fucking, when you shake his hand, he's just strong. And guy's been wrestling. He's one of the most he's one of the most decorated wrestlers in the history of wrestling for the United States.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, couple things with that. Number one, when people say, oh, he took a dive. Okay. I know that person's never been in a fight and I've never been punched, because the reality is, and they don't know someone like Ben Askren. Now, do I think he took a quote unquote dive for this fact? Do I think he was his most prepared, his most trained? Did he take this really serious? No, I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay. I don't think he was like, but I think if you listen to him talk afterwards, he's like, what do I do? Say he won and he knocked out Jake Paul. Is his life any different? Nope. He gets $500,000. He still goes back to his wife and kids and teaches wrestling. If he gets knocked out in 5 seconds, does he do anything? Well, it's kind of embarrassing, but he still wins $500,000. He goes back to his wife and still teaches wrestling. Exactly. What happened to Ben in that fight? 2 things happened. Number one, with fighting. I mean, the thing is, and you hear this all the time, you never know when the guy's chin is just done. You know, Ben has taken fucking shots, man. Now you watch that Robbie Lawler fight. He was dropped on his head and he ate like probably 15 unanswered shots from Robbie Lawler, who's a fucking murderer. Now it's just like anything else. You got this much chin, you deteriorated it. Then he takes a knee from hell from Jorge Masvidal, and dude, and literally, that could kill a person. Like he literally could have broke his neck and like his spine and killed him. And then he got 3 more fucking unanswered punches after he was completely knocked out. Now, I don't care what. Now, if let's just say this hypothetically, if that same punch hit Ben Askren before those 2 things happened, I don't think it would have did very much. However, that punch after those 2, dude, it's a car and a car wreck, man. You can only be in your car so many times. Now you hit it again, it just fucking falls apart. And then now it's totaled, and you got to total it. And that's the thing. The other thing about that, look where the punch hit him. It hit him in his temple, like right here. Those kind of punches literally just shut your equilibrium off. And if you watch the way Ben fell, and then people are like, the ref, the people are like,
he stiffened up.
Then the retards that are saying the ref was paid off. Dude, he told Ben Askren to walk toward him. He said, walk toward me. Ben said, I'm okay. He said, walk toward me. When Ben's first step was that. It was a stumble to the right. And that's it. No, here's the thing. Say it. He would have let it go on. What do you think's going to happen? He's going to get hit with another fucking more shots and even be hurt worse.
But that's the truth, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
So like these things, though, at the end of the day, these mountain things and all this stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm old school. I want to see Tyson Fury fight, Anthony Joshua. That's the fight I want to watch.
Well, did you see that Tommy Fury wants to fight Jake Paul now? That's the new buzz right now.
Oh, Tyson Fury wants to fight Jake Paul?
No, Tommy Fury.
I don't know who that is.
He's the Long Island. He's the love of the island. So he's from back east. He's got 5 fights. He's undefeated, and he was talking shit. Jake Paul was talking shit, and Tommy told him like, "Hey, send me over the contract, and we'll fucking do this."
Well, again, if Jake Paul wants to be a boxer, let him fight a boxer. He's a 3-0 record against nobody who's a boxer.
And that's the truth.
And it's really weird. I mean,
and they're counting it as a record.
It's so strange. You know what I mean? Well, I can say that. I'll just go out and punch 3 old people. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking 3-0 and fucking, street fights. You know what I mean? Like, well, did that person even know they were in a fight? Wow, that doesn't matter. It's my record. So for me, like, again, I'm guilty of, I tuned in, I wanted to see the fucking train wreck, what I mean?
Well,
I wanted to see the spectacle, but I watched that fight going, man, this is going to be really embarrassing. And I think, here's the thing. I thought this, if Jake Paul had any kind of composure, short of him going in there and freaking out, I thought he was going to fucking win and knock out Ben Askren. Maybe not knock him out, but I thought he was going to beat him up, because what is Ben really in the ideal situation? Even if Jake sit there and went like this, Ben lost a stand-up fight to Damian Maia. And if you know MMA, Damian Maia's got the worst hands of stand-up. second worst hands ever, and so, it's like being the tallest midget. Well, you're, I'm 3'2", I'm 3'6". You're still fucking midgets. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Nothing against, shout out to all my midget friends, but you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things. It's just calling it is what it is. So, I mean, like I said, I just like, I love the good fights. This weekend was amazing.
Oh my God.
Did you see Chris Weidman?
Oh my God. Let me tell you right now. I watched from the beginning of the prelims.
Yeah.
All the way to the main event. Every fight was a fucking banger.
And how great was it to have the crowd back, man? I had chills watching it at home. I couldn't even imagine what it felt like.
No fucks given. There was
great. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved it.
Man. Oh, that was a phenomenal fucking card.
Yeah.
All right? Everyone who needed to win won. I was a little upset that Masvidal lost, but he got clean. He got hit clean.
Yeah.
I thought he hurt Usman. When Usman fucking kind of stumbled, and he right before the round over, he was kind of wobbling. But I was like, hopefully he's not trying to play some fucking shit. And then as soon as that fucking round came in and they started exchanging blows, it was fucking just, I was like, oh.
Like my biggest thing is what I always do. I always hate it because I don't bet on fights anymore. Only because financially I used to all the time. I just financially I damn right now. But or else I would. And one of the things, two things I bet, one of the things I wanted to bet was Usman by knockout. Yeah. And because there was a ton of money on it, you know what I mean? Because it was like plus like 800 for Usman to win by knockout. But I said the only reason I said it is because Usman's striking looks so good against Gilbert Burns. But I thought because Masvidal from his own words said this motherfucker can't hurt me. Yeah, I was in there with him, dude. When you go into a fight thinking you can't hurt me, you're bound to get knocked out. Well, that's it.
He was eating shots, but the thing is just like he said, that, you know what I'm saying, you had a punch count. You know what I'm saying? You take too many punches, and he ate a few, and he was like, "Oh, this ain't shit." He dropped his hands, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" He just was too confident. He was overconfident. He came in way too confident, but I love that confidence. That's why I like Masvidal.
Fun. Yeah, it's fun to watch, But I mean, Usman's such a sound fighter, man. And again, it's ignorant to me to come in confident against a guy like that. Overconfident. It's one thing.
Come like to a champ,
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think that's exactly what happened to John Whaley and Rose. I think she came in thinking this chick ain't gonna hurt her, and I mean, boom, that's what happens.
Knockout of knockout of the night.
Dude, it was awesome, man.
And let me tell you now, she hit, it was funny because like you could see her get knocked out, and then like, I'm not knocked out. I'm like, the bitch was in space.
Yeah, I mean, in her defense, when she woke up, she said, when she watched on the big screen, she was like, oh, like hitting her head, going like there was an angle of her like going, fuck, I fucked up, and and people are talking about a rematch now. On one hand, it's like, well, I kind of want to see Rose fight different people. On the other hand, she was on a 21 fight win streak.
Oh yeah. She deserves a rematch.
And I don't know. I see both sides of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To me, the thing is, if Rose would have just beat the piss out of her for 5 rounds straight, then I say 100% zero way. But you can say, a lucky kick punch, even though there's nothing lucky about it.
That was overconfidence, because what she did is she dropped her arm, did not block that kick because she misjudged the distance because
she thought it was coming to her body. Yeah, exactly, she literally went like this and put her face into it, and that's why Rose kicked her
and fucking clean. Hit that fucking button like there was no tomorrow.
But dude, man, the like Luke Thomas said it. I can't even he's got the MMA podcast guy, and he said something so funny, and it's so true. He's like, you couldn't pitch to Hollywood a script that says Chris Weidman fights and breaks his leg the same way. Yeah. Because people would be like, dude, it's too unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Too unbelievable.
It's where they're like, yeah, well, come on, come up with something better than that. But dude, the same leg, the same place, the same kick, and he stepped down on it the same way Silva did.
And folded and hit his leg. Oh,
like his foot was at his calf.
Yeah.
His calf. My God. Yeah. It was like, my wife was just like, because get this, dude, our this third match of the day at our arm wrestling tournament, boom, broken arm. And so, the third match of the day, dude. Now, granted, there were two novice guys, and that's when it usually happens. And the guy who was pulling was he was from a team in Utah, and he was 2 months into the sport. Yeah. And big strong guy, 2 months into the sport. And dude, it's like if you've ever ever seen, if you're ever in an arm wrestling tournament, I mean, it was one of those things where people, I get it, but again, people say it all the time to me, dude, I heard people's arms break. I'm like, look, and they're squatting. I'm like, look, I can show you 50 times more squat fails than I can arm breaks. But just like anything else, you wouldn't teach me if you were training me to squat. You wouldn't take my first day and be like, let's put 3 plates on you and see how you do.
Exactly.
But because we know that makes sense. But in arm wrestling, people don't have that gauge of I'm going to put this is like everything I got and see what happens. Well, it just, you know what I mean? So, and again, it's everything you got and that person's putting everything they got. And in the middle, it's just going to, something can go.
Sometimes it's going to happen like that.
Yeah. And especially when you don't have the tendon ligaments built up or anything, but it was like 3-4 matches in. Boom, snap, that loud punch. Dude, it sucks because it sounds like sounds like a baseball bat hitting, a glass, it's just like, and it just makes the whole vibe of the tournament like, and that the same thing would happen, in that, the Weidman fight. Now you have 3 more fights after that, dude. He threw how many times has Weidman thrown a low kick?
How many times has been checked? You know what I'm saying? It's like
10,000. But dude, it was
so gnarly. I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. And like, as we're like me and my best friend were sitting here, my brother, we're sitting here watching these fights and we're like, did that just, we're sitting there screaming the top of our lungs off.
And when the fight right before it, the guy gets kicked in the leg and his foot's all fucking flopping around like a dead fish. And that's what, and then the Weidman fight happened. My wife was like, Jason, I'm cool with watching these fights, but like, I fucking can't look at after the arm break today and the adrenaline coming down, because we had just had the tournament. We drove back from Utah and, just got home enough time to watch the fights. And it was just like, she's like, I can't, this is exhausting, and I'm like, I've smoked too much weed. I don't give a shit. I wanted to watch it in slow motion and watch his face, I'm like, this is crazy.
It's it.
But man, but again, it's one of those things. That's why, I watch MMA, because just when you think you've seen everything, it's holy,
it'll show you
you haven't, man. And when you think anything can happen, I mean, like I said, you would think there's no way. Again, if you, like I said, if I told you as a movie script, you'd be like, well, that's too unbelievable. Maybe let's make it like he breaks his arm. But the exact same thing, stepping down the same way. And, I mean, it's just horrible, because, I mean, because when those things happen, the first thing I think of, like, what is his wife thinking right there?
Exactly. His family, everything, like, and that's one of the things too, that Hall was classy as fuck. He handled that. He was like, look,
he said his surgery went well.
Exactly. And even Hall told him, it's like, look, if you come back, no matter what state, you have a rematch. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was as classy as you can be. I mean, he handled that really well. And but dude, I mean, like, you don't want to see anybody hurt. I know for me, I want to crush my opponents on the table, but I never want to see somebody get hurt, man. Exactly. I mean, that's just gross, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It is.
But yeah, what a crazy weekend, man, of fights and stuff like that, dude. It's it is. It's like, but like I said, it's one of those things, especially being in a sport and watching that happen. You're like watching someone. It makes you second guess everything you're fucking doing, man.
Exactly. Yeah, it does. It's so fucking crazy.
I still haven't watched the Bigfoot thing though.
Oh, well, I don't have you. I didn't watch the Tubi one. I just never got a chance to. But did you see the new Hulu one that's called Sasquatch?
I don't have Hulu. No, I don't have Hulu.
Oh, okay. Well, here, I'll give you a little bit of rundown. It's a complete honey dick.
Yeah.
It talks about Sasquatch. And I don't know if you want me to ruin it for you or not, so I better just mention that now. This is spoilers for anybody if you want me to continue in this conversation. It's up to you. Okay, then
I'll have the chance.
All right, then here it goes. This guy worked up in Humboldt County. Humboldt County is like 3 hours away from me up north. You know what I'm saying? Humboldt County is known for weed. Humboldt County is known to be the best place to get weed. And even when you drive up there, there's dispensaries all up and down the road that drives through Humboldt County. So you can literally stop and get some of the freshest, best weed you can buy in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And, and
well, here you go. That's okay. I'm going to say this right now. Think about this. Anything you say after that, I can be like, dude, the motherfuckers are high. You got the best weed in the world. Yeah, I could see a fucking garbage guy on the side of the room. I'm like, that might've been Bigfoot.
Exactly. So, I mean, and that's where the story leads into. This guy comes, he's an outsider, comes in so we can start working on a weed farm. And like I said, there's hundreds of weed farms out there. And back in the 90s, you know, it was a war on drugs. So fucking it was like very, very like non-speaking. Like you couldn't just drive out there and get it then. And then you had to know somebody to get in there, which, you know, a lot of us did if you were from California. But they would hire immigrants and they would hire people to come in and trim. Maintain the farm. So this guy come out Grateful Dead, fucking like not realizing this is cartelled up, that this is fucking like, you know, hold my fucking gun or fucking like I'm gonna kill these people who step on my fucking property.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp and Blow kind of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's in a farm and he's hearing a conversation while he's sitting down watching TV in the middle of the night. And this guy comes up and he's a known meth head sitting there saying that they're all dead. They're all dead. And he's like, what do you mean they're all dead? And 3 people are just mangled. And he's all, Sasquatch killed them. I saw it myself. And so this guy hears the story, kind of like doesn't say anything or do anything about it. Just like, what the fuck? And then eventually leaves. But then the story sticks with him so much that he needs to investigate it now. And so that's what this documentary is, him searching for what happened that night. And so, you know, he's going through Sasquatch. He's going through all these things. Turns out it was just a drug dealer killed 3 people to set an example to everyone else, to scare everybody, to keep them from stealing from him. And the guy's name that was the drug dealer was Bigfoot Larry.
That's awesome. Dude, you know what's crazy, dude? I was talking to, so on the drive to Utah, like I said, it was me, my wife, and my buddy Brian. And, you know, and I like I said, I have all these different fucking conspiracies and this and that, whatever I like to talk about. But, you know, and I said something about Bigfoot. He's like, dude, you want to hear a Bigfoot story? Because I was literally saying that I don't know anyone with a Bigfoot story that, like, you know, this doesn't like, that has all their teeth or, you know, doesn't, you know, looks like they dropped out of 3rd grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you want to hear something crazy? And I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, bro. So he said he's from Massachusetts, right? And so I forget exactly which town or whatever, but he's like, he lived in like a wooded area in Massachusetts when he was a kid, and him and his brother were like out playing in the woods. And he said he heard like this clanking, like something like hitting like a sticks together or whatever kind of thing. And he was like, he said him and his brother walked over to the thing, or walked toward the sound, and he said he saw something fucking banging a stick on a rock. And I was like, what was it? He's like, I don't know. All we did, we saw this thing bang sticks on a rock and we fucking ran. And he's like, to this day, you know, me and my brother were like, you know, it's like, did we see what we thought we saw, or what the fuck was it? You know? And I was just like, you know, was it like, I don't know, was it your grandpap, you know, like outside, like naked in the woods, you know? But it was just one of those things. It was the first time I heard a Bigfoot story for someone I knew. Yeah. But like, and he was like, real, like, dude, it was weird. It wasn't like, it was just weird. But you said something funny, dude, you know, about drugs. Like, I don't know if you've seen another friend of mine, like another video YouTuber that I watch a lot. He talks about, there's apparently compilations of meth heads doing like incredible feats of strength.
Oh yeah.
And I went down that rabbit hole, started watching those. And dude, they're fucking crazy. But he had a whole thing because one of the guys literally, like, he does like Q&As and like and makes videos about it. But a guy was like, dude, what is crackhead strength? What is it? And is it real? And he went through this whole, like, you know, basically real biological, you know, scientific version of you know, when you're just like when you take pre-workout and you're like super heightened and
all
everything
the
like that, like
all that adrenaline.
Yeah, and everything's like firing. Dude, there's a fucking video of this like skinny dude. They're unloading refrigerators and he drives up, dude, like it's like a fucking skinny dude goes and picks up a refrigerator, puts it on his shoulder
and rides his bike.
Did you see that shit?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
That's amazing.
It's like I said, it's some crazy shit. Because like I said, it's a straight chemical. It's a straight drug, dude, that can make you go out of your mind and do some insane shit.
But I'm like, dude, I'm like,
their fucking arm. You know?
Yeah, you've seen that shit. Or they eat people and shit, their bath salts and they eat motherfuckers and stuff like that. But dude, I'm like, dude, I want to get some, like when I'm doing my 1 rep max, I'm like, or maybe my next tournament, I'm like, maybe I might like, you know, trade like some meth head, like a pair of Jordans, get some meth, and I'll win, you know, next.
So let me get
tournament.
A quick bump here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I've tried a lot of shit, never tried meth. That's been one thing I've definitely.
Kids don't try meth.
Yeah, I'm not advocating that. Unless you want to get really strong, you have to maybe like. Your dad calls you for moving day.
It's the ultimate pre-workout.
Yeah, unless it's moving day. Like if you're like, hey man, do me a favor, I got this pool table. I'm like, hold on, get some meth, and I'm like, I'll lift it myself, motherfucker. Here.
That's it. Don't worry about this.
Yeah, hilarious.
That's some crazy shit. Oh, hey brother, thank you for coming on. We were all over the place again.
Yeah, Bigfoot, hot tubs, meth heads.
The meth heads, you know what I'm saying?
Normal.
Arm breaking, like the neck snapping, all that good shit.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I hope your shoulder gets better too and everything like
Oh,
that.
thank you.
So,
You know what I'm saying? It just takes time. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like I
yeah.
said,
I say, man, it's just like, but I think, when you're a guy that loves, like, because I know for me, like, and I don't know for you, for me, with everything that's been going on in the world and everything like that, and for me, like unemployment stuff, and dude, I've been legit sad at times, man. And the time I don't feel bad is when I'm working out or I'm arm wrestling,
and
and
that's
when
one
you
of those
get
things.
injured, you can't do it at your best. It's like, oh, like really, come on.
It is, because like I said, workout is a sort of therapy that nothing else can match, because the simple fact is it gives you something to focus on. It gives you
Yeah.
the endorphins and the pleasure sensors of all that serotonin from releasing all this pent up anger and energy. And people
Yeah.
never really understand that. Like, well, why do you work out so much? I was like, because I got a lot of shit to work out.
No, but who
And-
says that? People who don't work out or
Exactly.
have never done it. You know what I
Never.
mean? I think when you've
Exactly.
tried, at least even you never, because even people that do it on a whatever casual basis, they only go, oh yeah, I do feel better today. I feel more
Yeah.
energy. I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah, there's a reason.
yeah, no shit. There's a
exactly.
reason, like people like you and I preach about it so damn much. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know
But
what
hey,
I'm
man,
saying?
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank
Everything.
you.
That's always a fun talk.
Oh,
Fun
yeah.
time to talk. And boom, right there.
All day.
Yeah,
No,
all day.
man.
There it is. I was like, man, I always wish my whole body, if my whole body was as lean and muscular as my forearms. I was like, damn, Jay Cutler right now.
Me tell you right now, bro. If I would have never got hurt, bro, I'd probably be on that like big Rami body style right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was literally on my trip to being a mass monster, and that's all I ever wanted to do.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I used to not understand it when I was younger, but like as I got older, I'm like, it's kind of better being big and strong, and because even right now, that's one of the big dilemmas. I want to wrap this up, but dude, it's one of my ultimate dilemmas. Is I with a shirt off, yeah, it's cool to be lean,
Yeah.
but when you're like walking around with your wife and you're fucking like
Yeah,
thick and
jacked.
shit, yeah, it feels like
It-
you. I'm telling you, and you know that it's that meme's always out.
Yeah.
Like you put memes about all it, like
All
you put
day.
one recently. What you think working out's going to
Yeah.
be chicks all over, and what it ends up being is, bro, you look fucking good, bro. I look
Looking
like,
good.
bro, what do you look, man? You look like awesome, bro. And that's all it ends up being.
That's
so,
all.
and when you're, when you're younger, it's like you like, wow, that doesn't matter. But when you're older, you're kind of like, yeah, it's kind of cool to be
it
like
feels good.
a
Little
guy.
recognition.
Yeah, exactly.
Real
Again, brother,
recognized
thanks
real.
for having me on, man. I
No, thank
appreciate
you.
you, and have a
Oh,
blessed
yeah.
week ahead of you, and all that shit.
Same thing, brother. Hope you get better too. You recover. Everything
Yeah,
goes
man.
good.
It's just like did some
Yeah.
scraping today myself. I have
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those tools.
There's one.
and-
I was going to mention that too. I was like, you haven't tried that raw thing yet, but shit, if you're doing the scraping,
Yeah,
You know what I'm
dude,
saying?
I've done it,
Yeah.
man. Scraping, cupping, sucking, fucking. I've tried it all, man.
All.
Tried it all, man.
That's
I'll
it.
do whatever. If you told me I get in, eat another man's ass, and your arm will be like, I'm like, is he
One time ain't
clean
gonna
or-"
hurt.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it ain't gay if you're sore.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, brother.
On that note,
On that note.
see you, my friend.
Never die. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living.